Hi guys, Nilbez here, back again with some more Dead by Daylight content. First and foremost, I would just like to quickly apologise. I've not uploaded anything for about a week. This is because me and my fiance, we've just bought and moved into our first property together, and it's been very busy, very exciting, but mostly very busy. So I've not been able to do much other than organise this place. And with work being thrown into the mix, I've only just been able to get this all set up and started. So today I actually want to talk about something I saw on YouTube yesterday. I saw a couple of different YouTube content creators discussing a Dead by Daylight boycott. So I just wanted to give you my money's worth on it, give you a little bit of an overview of what this boycott is, what it's about, and my opinion and views on this boycott itself. After a brief overview, this Reddit post talks about how Dead by Daylight is the top of an asymmetrical horror game genre with no real competitor that's equal to themselves. With Behaviour having no real competitors for their game, they have no real incentive to make the game better, and they can do what they have done for the past 3 chapters and have no real repercussions for this. Further along, this post actually talks about how the last 3 chapters, starting from A Binding of Kin, were all released with many bugs, from visual bugs at the main menu screen to powers just flat out not working how they should. The biggest problem with the All Kill chapter, however, was more the fact that Behaviour didn't take on any of the feedback or change anything really for the Trickster when they really should have. And I really can get behind, it is a bit odd that you would even have a public test build if you're not going to actually change anything that you get feedback to change. If a character or killer seems a bit underpowered or a bit broken, that's something that these things are made for, and if they're not going to actually amend anything, is there really much point? Now, this did continue on to the most recent chapter, the Resident Evil chapter, which I personally was massively excited for. I'm a big Resident Evil fan, and this was very nostalgic for me, and I ended up going back and playing all of my games. Now, this was released very buggy. The map wasn't even released with the chapter. It was taken down, and it has been down for the past 2 weeks since release. This will have more than likely brought in many Resident Evil fans just to see an absolute buggy mess and soon to leave after. Now, I'm not an imbecile. I know that there's always going to be bugs, there's always going to be glitches and things that they're going to need to fix when they release new content. This is just a thing. It's something that can't be avoided. The problem lies with the fact that Behaviour have been pushing all of these cosmetic skins before finishing smoothing off all of these buggy problems. Problems ranging from not actually being able to even play with your friends because of errors booting you back to the main menu screen when you play with certain people. Problems like when you can't even play on the new map that you've been excited and waiting for, and it's been out the game for several weeks. Problems like at release when the killer can't even properly use their power and it's not working. It really does seem like Behaviour have got their priorities all mixed up, pushing out these new skins before even fixing the game itself. Now, I don't know about you, but I do prefer the idea of them fixing issues like being able to play with your friends and actually play the new content over a pretty new skin. And I'm someone who loves cosmetics, I love reskins, but frankly, it's not a priority. And as much as I love Resident Evil and I'm happy that they've come to a crossover, I haven't bought any of the skins this chapter just because I've been in a bit of a boycott myself. Before I even heard about this boycott, I wasn't willing to pay money for skins that I wanted when the game was broken. This post then goes on to talk about how many perks there are. So there is 95 survivor perks and there is 84 killer perks, and how much of a grind it is just to get all of the perks. Now, I personally don't mind a bit of a grind.
serious?
In a sense, it's a way of flexing your playtime and your experience. So I quite like that there's a bit of a grind. This doesn't really bother me all that much. But that being said, it has gotten to a point now where it is maybe a little bit too much of a grind. That being said as well though, you can buy all of the perks off of the shop through iridescent shards as an in-game currency. You don't actually have to pay anything for them. Although I do think they can improve this mechanic of buying them from the shop, because otherwise you might end up waiting for the one you want for a very long time. For instance, I think it would be good if there was a way to buy any perk at any time with iridescent shards, but you just got a better deal if it was on the weekly. So you should have the full weeklies. I think that's a good setup. I'm fine with that. But there should be an option to go to all of the perks below, all killer, all survivor below, and maybe they're not 2,000 or 2,500. Maybe they're 3,000 a perk instead, because they're not part of the weekly. But yeah, I think that would be great if you could get any of the perks anytime you wanted. But if you're not willing to wait for it to be on the weekly deal, you have to pay a few more shards for it. It does also mention removing tiering up perks due to the amount of perks. Maybe it could be a good option to only have to unlock the perk once, and maybe actually using it tiers it up over time. That way you wouldn't feel like you'd be dumping quite as many blood points into each perk slot, and in addition, this would also prompt you learning more perks through the same amount of blood points. This post does then go on to talk about the events and how behaviour has changed every event in the game into a diet, off-brand discount version of its older self. So the Halloween and the Chinese New Year events are the biggest examples, it says in this post, and that is right, they originally did give killers and survivors side objectives, and they gave the players that chance to earn event currency to buy an event skin. Now this was later replaced to temporary use offerings that give everyone more blood points, and they have removed event currency altogether, and it has made all event skins either a big iridescent shard grind or a $10 payout. Now at the end of the day, this is a business, and a business does need to make money, and I'm not entirely opposed to them charging people for skins. That's a way to make money. If someone wants a skin, happy days, they're both happy. But when it is an event that happens once in the year, I do think you need or deserve the ability to be able to get an in-game currency throughout the event, which you can grind and earn the skin without actually having to pay for it. I think if it's an event that happens once in the year, you should be able to earn a skin. And then if you miss it, you don't quite get it, tough luck, you do have to buy the skin. I think that would be fair. Not taking away buying skins altogether, they still get their money, but if you are dedicated and you grind it out, I do believe you should be able to earn the skins, like before. Now that we've gone over all of the subsections, we're actually going to get to the beef of this, which is the boycott itself. In this section, it goes over how behaviour has no other big games, they have no other competition, and all of their chips are in Dead by Daylight. Now, at some point along the way, it says both behaviour and the community forgot that the community has the power to decide whether Dead by Daylight succeeds or fails. Behaviour has gotten slow and somewhat greedy with Dead by Daylight. They are leading the game down a path that, if continued, could lead to the poor health of the game we all love. Another boycott was suggested earlier in the day. I posted my preposition post, and they suggested we stop playing the game on June the 26th. And June the 27th as a strike against behaviour. Now the post goes on to talk about Scott Jund and how he made a video perfectly explaining why doing only that won't work. I do agree, you don't have to like Scott, but he's right. Just not playing the game as a strike won't do anything. Behaviour loses nothing, and we need to collectively stop giving money to behaviour for the next 3 months, whether that's cosmetics, all chapters or and chapters, and behaviour would actually lose their main source of income if the community did this. So if, say, 25% of the community did this, it would dent their income. 50%, this would vastly harm behaviour, and 75% it could actually ruin behaviour. We actually have that power, and not this subreddit but the community as a whole. So he's not proposing we actually destroy behaviour, of course, but we just need to remind behaviour that the community should be listened to, or else they could lose their cash cow, essentially. And how this subreddit post is ended, essentially, is just letting us know if we were to stop purchasing chapters and skins, even if it's just this latest chapter and the skins that came with it. Doing this boycott could potentially improve the quality of life of the game that we all love, and we wouldn't have all of these glitches, bugs, and all of these needed fixes causing us pain anymore. But yeah, what this post boils down to is essentially if we stop giving them money, then they're going to have to listen to us, and they're going to actually have to fix these errors, these glitches, things just disrupting the quality of life for this game, because ultimately that's what's important. As much as it's nice to see all these cool skins and cosmetics coming out for the characters, that is a secondary, not a primary priority. So when the game is all fixed, this could potentially mean we can all have our skins and enjoy our skins when the game isn't broken. It ends by giving us examples of ways we can actually help and be part of this boycott. The first being using hashtag #DeadByBoycott on Twitter, leaving negative Steam reviews with hashtag #DeadByBoycott somewhere in the description, which obviously you can just take off later on if things get fixed, and adding hashtag #DeadByBoycott to your Steam name, asking content creators if they know about it, but please don't harass them about it. Stay off the DBD Steam forums and the DBD forums, because instead of taking it as constructive feedback, now the developers are actually banning people for mentioning boycott, and the bans can range from 1 month to a permanent ban. Also, don't threaten the developers, because we do not need to be violent about this. Speak with your wallet, not your threats. So that concludes everything about this Reddit post, and I agree with more or less everything that's been said. I will be going along with the boycott myself. I did buy the Resident Evil chapter just because I am a big Resident Evil fan, so I kind of failed in part already, but I have boycott getting the Claire and Chris skin that I want both of. So I'm just going to refrain from buying those skins in the hopes that I can support this boycott a little bit for those 3 months. So that concludes the Dead by Boycott Reddit post / movement. Apologies if I went on a bit of a tangent. I just wanted to be quite thorough with my opinion on top of the whole overview. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please do smash that subscribe button. I really appreciate the support, and I'll be bringing much more Dead by Daylight content to this channel. If you liked the video and you're feeling awesome, drop a like and let me know what you thought in the comment section below. Even if it's constructive criticism, I always welcome feedback. I'm always interested in any kind of feedback, and I'm very active in the comment section below. With all that said and done, guys, thanks again for watching. Have a great day, peace out, and I'll see you in the fog.